has written an amazing article, which I'm desperately trying to find this morning. Can we say a very good morning to a man who brings a degree of quality and intelligence to this otherwise pretty rubbish show, to be fair. Jack Elsom, political editor of The Sun. Good morning. What page is your article? And I've lost it. What? Oh, there it is.
Page 10. Well, Jeremy, I've got many articles in The Sun newspaper today, but the one I think you want to talk about is on page 10.
It is indeed. Well, this is really interesting. Should have had you on yesterday, but you're a busy man. Let's move it away for a sec from Wes Streeting, Labour mayoral cancellations, and also I want to talk to you about the barracks. Yesterday, Financial Times, opening page, front page, Nigel donors deal. 6:05, he tweets, "It's fake news, it's fake news." Badenoch says, "Not a cat in hell's chance." Nigel went, "They're ludicrous and that's ridiculous, they're liars." I've asked every single Tory since that moment, and I just asked Sir Ian Duncan-Smith, if we find ourselves, Jack Elsom, in 2.5 years in a country that is by the day on its knees, right? Is it true that the right to avoid some dreadful mess of Labour, Ed Davey, your party, not your party, the Fruit and Nut Party, and that dreadful, dreadful Zach Polanski, that the people in the Tory and, in fact, you know, Reform parties would owe it to the British people to at least get their heads together? That's what I think.
Well, I think there's definitely going to be that growing conversation as an election nears, because clearly, for many people in both Reform and the Tories and on the broader right, it seems pretty insane that you are having two pretty similar parties fishing in the same pool. Yeah. And what we know in our first past the post system is that blocks which are split get badly punished. And it could even allow a Labour Party, if it manages to unite the progressives, as Keir Starmer is trying to do, to come up through the middle if the Tories and Reform are too busy fighting each other. And, you know, I think that is clearly going to be the obvious numbers at the next election. The problem is, can a deal be done? And that's what I write in the piece, because I am quite sceptical at this point.
Is this your piece on page 10 of The Sun today, Jack, that we've got on screen now?
It is that very one with a very nice picture of a handsome devil, a byline picture straight slap bang in the middle, which I'm sure many people will be admiring over their.
Is that your mugshot from when you were arrested, or is that's genuinely a photo? Is it that one?
We had these professional photos taken a few years ago at the House of Commons terrace, and we were told to look incredibly serious because it's serious times, or it was then and it is now. And so that's how that photo came about. But back to even more serious matters about Keir Badenoch and Nigel Farage. Listen, Westminster, never underestimate the power of Westminster egos. And I think that is what could really get in the way of any sort of deal being done. Look about Nigel Farage. He's currently clearly ahead in the polls. He's odds-on favourite to be the next Prime Minister. He stood down a raft of candidates in the 2019 election when basically gifted Boris Johnson that massive majority. He did it because he wanted to get Brexit through and save the country from Corbynism. Since then, he felt very bruised and wounded that immigration skyrocketed, the Brexit deal was bodged in many ways. He was sidelined by the Conservatives. They never thanked him. Now he's within touching distance of actually doing the unthinkable and becoming Prime Minister. There is not a cat's chance in hell that he is going to be playing second fiddle to a Conservative Party, which at the moment looks like it's in the doldrums. But I think Keir Badenoch is also coming back. She's making some inroads. The last few weeks have been better than a pretty poor start. And there is a world in which she actually managed to creep up the polls by the next election. There is no way, and think about the Tory party, even if Badenoch wanted to do some sort of deal with Farage, be it a full-on merger, can never see that happening, or you stand down in some seats, we'll stand down in some other seats, there are just many people in the Conservative Party that will never let her do that. One, they're a proud party, and the idea of the most successful party in the Western world ever standing down seats in an election for Nigel Farage is unthinkable to many. But also, while Nigel Farage is the total ruler of Reform and can basically click his fingers and people will follow him, that is not the same with Keir Badenoch. There will be people in that party who are wets and who would rather move against their leader than ever jump into bed with Nigel Farage. And so I just think the structures there and the personality clashes at the moment, I think, makes a deal look far-fetched.
I'm gonna say something that I didn't say yesterday. I would never underestimate Parliament. I would never underestimate good comms. You might, from a reform point of view, think that that might have sent a very clear message to people who are indeed dithering that if you don't put your money where your mouth is, because I think there will be millions who haven't made their mind up and come to reform, you will end up with that scenario. You could say it from the Tory point of view. Fascinating times. The other thing that's caused a massive political response today is Labour announcing, Jack, that they're postponing 4 mayoral elections for 2 years. This seen by Reform, Zia's on at 9, and the Conservatives is an absolute dereliction of duty. They're taking away our basic democratic right. Listen to this. James, good morning.
Morning, Jezza. James from Liverpool here. So they're actually breaking democracy yet again by postponing the mayoral elections. All this ever does, it makes people hate them more. So as you'll find with the elections they've put off last year till this May, they'll get wiped out even more so than what they would have got wiped out last year, because people hate them. No one trusts them. They're full of lies, gaslighting, and they've got absolutely no idea what they're doing. What a great morning to be British, eh? Have a great day, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm going to after that. Jack, what do you make of that?
Well, the Labour government haven't actually announced it yet. The plans were leaked to me late last night, and actually when they were, I couldn't quite believe it. I ended up breaking the story in the makeup room of a different TV channel late last night, and my phone absolutely blew up.
Sorry, you broke it in the makeup room of another TV channel. I made you, I created you, and you didn't give me the exclusive.
Well, it was very late last night, just before I was about to go and do a paper review on a rival station who shall not be named.
No.
And
It's all pie in the sky,
then,
that.
quite. My phone totally blew up. Senior people in Reform, senior people in the Tories, even people in the Labour Party who aren't happy about this, because whatever their excuse is, and the Housing Secretary, the Local Government Secretary, Steve Reed, will today make the case that these new unitary councils need more time to reorganise and bed in and the rest of it. There are many people that can't get over the pretty blatant fact that delaying elections, no matter what the reason, never looks good. And lots of these councils were going to be prime targets for reform. Think about places like Essex, Norfolk, Suffolk, Tories, maybe down in Hampshire, Brighton probably less so. But the Reform Party and the Conservatives are clearly using this as a stick to beat the Labour Party today and saying, what are you so afraid of? And for all of Labour's promises and claims that it's actually something to do with the wider bureaucratic reorganisation, they are now incredibly vulnerable to charges that they are dodging the electorate by delaying these votes.
It's really interesting as well. I mean, I've said this forever. And as long as I can possibly remember, politicians of all parties, and all colours and all creeds seriously need to wake up, Jack, to the belief, right, that actually the British people, the silent majority, the hard workers that have always done their bit and never complain, are at the end of their tether. We just had a tweet last night from Farage. Don't know if you saw this. This is his description of the cancelling of those elections. These are the actions of despots, not Democrats. And I think a lot of people will be really angry. Zia Yousif, head of policy, will be on with us after 9. How many articles have you got in the paper today, Jack? Just out of interest.
Well, if you look at the spread on page 4 and 5, we've got a great article in the Sun today about how pubs are going to be allowed to pour pints until 1 in the morning during the World Cup.
Look at the smile on his face. Look at his priorities. Look at him. Look, honestly.
It's beer and football, Jeremy. It beats politics every day of the week in terms of the feel-good factor.
Right. Well, in terms of the feel-good factor, Jack, this is very important because it's an extraordinary story this morning in the Daily Telegraph. This is genuinely true. I'm going to get it there on camera. A lick from a dog makes teenagers happier adults. Genuinely in the paper, a lick from a dog. Mate, look at his face, he looks completely confused. Now, knowing what dogs lick, I wouldn't encourage this, but on the basis that football and beer makes you happy, would that be the answer to Jack Elsom? What makes you happy?
Well, beer and probably rugby more than football, I would say. But, it's the World Cup next year, so I get into that. A lick from a dog, I'd probably pass, if I'm honest.
Absolutely agreed. Anyway, buy the actually we should rename it. It's not called The Sun. Buy the Elsom today. Buy the Elsom. It's a great newspaper.
Great idea, yeah. Great idea.
The newest red top, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very good. £1.29 for the Elsom, out daily. Jack, thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you on. We'll do